As you know, we have started this series on different aspects of corporate social responsibility and public-private partnership with rural development agenda and initiatives. And so far, we have had 7 lectures on different arenas, starting from different knowledge areas and also some skill areas. Today, we are very enthused to have Mr. Pradeep Agrawal with us. He is a program director at NRIDA, which works with assets, road assets, and rural assets management and infrastructure management. And he will be sharing with you some of the aspects of rural roads asset management and how there can be corporate social responsibility and private integration or convergence with these areas. Before I invite Mr. Pradeep to start his presentation, we also have the center head of Center for Rural Infrastructure, Dr. Ramesh from Hyderabad, who has joined us here today. I must thank Dr. Ramesh for taking out his time, coming to the office on a Saturday and joining us to welcome all of you and formally start the program. So, Dr. Ramesh, I would like to invite you to please formally welcome our participants. You are muted, sir. You have to unmute yourself.
It's a pleasure to be here, Dr. Ruchira, and I'm happy to be here on a Saturday. You mentioned. Good morning, everyone. This is CSR in RD series, lecture 8, and I am Ramesh. I'm an associate professor working in the Center for Rural Infrastructure, and I am pleased to be here, and I am pleased to have had this opportunity to welcome all of you here and all the participants, and also especially our lecturer today, the lecturer today, Shri Pradeep Agrawal from the uh, National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency. So we know that we keep climbing also that the rural roads network in India that we have almost saturated. That even the tiniest of villages we have connected. We have connected with rural roads, we say, and that is something I would say humongous that we have been able to achieve this. And so now rural asset management for rural roads and asset management and maintenance, all these are issues that we have, and the current practices and scope for public-private partnership and in what way CSR can involve here. These are the things perhaps we'll be discussing in this 1 hour lecture. And so I am pleased to invite all of you to this lecture series, and I'm happy our colleague Dr. Ruchira is taking it forward, and now that we are on the 8th of the lecture series, and I welcome all of you on behalf of NIRD, and I request my colleague Dr. Ruchira to take over.
Thank you
Please.
so much, sir. Thank you for setting the agenda of the program. And as you were right to say that PMGSY is one of the more successful programs of RD, which has actually achieved what it set out to do and has covered almost all the rural areas. Now that the road network is built out, there are debates on how to maintain it forward in the remote areas where there are issues with maintenance and how we can bring convergence into it. So with these, we have started this conversation, and one of the areas of convergence that is less explored yet is the CSR convergence and public-private convergence. So Shri Pradeep Agarwal kindly has agreed to kind of take this forward, discuss different areas of asset management, and then give us some ideas of where CSR can come in and converge with government programs. So without further delay, I would like to invite Shri Pradeep Agarwal to take over and start his lecture. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, okay. Good morning to all of you. And good morning, Dr. Ruchira. Good morning, Dr. Ramesh, and all the participants. And I'm very thankful to the NIRDPR and Dr. Ruchira and Dr. Ramesh to call me for give me this opportunity to interact with the participants. And as I've been told that participant comes from different organizations from different walks of life, and they are the PhD students also from the corporate, from the government. So it's a very happy mix of all kind of professionals. And definitely, as Dr. Ruchira and Dr. Ramesh has kindly said, that the PMGSY is one of the government scheme which is being appreciated at every platform. And this is one of the flagship scheme which has shown its results. And most of the organizations like Niti Aayog, World Bank, ADB, and any other international organizations, they are all interested in this scheme and they praise this scheme. So this has been possible with the good like cooperation between center and states, because we work for all the state and that too in the rural areas. So this scheme itself speaks about, and I think a lot of studies have been done and the studies will be done. And one area of study shall be that how a government scheme of such a big nature is successfully delivering the results, and the how the center and state and the federal structure can cooperate and bring in such good results. And what is the organization structure actually? The What has happened that in between the NRIDA is there. Now NRIDA is a body like a consulting organization for the project management processes, for the project delivery, and for the scrutiny of all the scheme and to maintain the quality and time and everything. So it is this will be in study itself, and it will be very encouraging for any researcher to do that and compare that how the organizational structure and PMJSY policies, guidelines, everything has resulted into making this scheme successful since 2000 when it was launched. Now giving it success and everything, now the government, for central government or the state government, are replicating this model. And for any new verticals, for any new scheme, every time the MORD and NRID is being approached, the example is Vibrant Village program, as you might have heard about, the connectivity in the border areas, and the Prime Minister Janman for the PVTZ group. So this everything now is falling in the lap of the NRID and the MORD, and definitely because of its robust structure. Now today, as I've been asked for, that I'll be sharing with you some good practices, and the most important thing is what? It is asset management. Now the asset management, when I will be talking about, I'll be talking about a concept which is being successfully implemented and being implemented. And what is required in the asset management or in the maintenance management is that ultimately the user who is using these facilities should be happy. Okay, so that means not only like in the traditional method of maintenance, something is done, like in your own house you have got some electricity failure, let's say, and you are living in a society, electrician comes, and then first of all when you lodge the complaint for such maintenance, now the response time is very important. So what happens that you keep complaining, and the person will come, let's say, after 3 hours delay or 3 days delay, one. So that gives the user the already he's in difficulty. And simple example, so now in your house you have got 5 bulbs which are to be changed or are not working. Now what he does, he comes and he is in hurry or whatever, the 2 bulbs are difficult for him to handle. Then what he does, he repairs 3 bulbs, and then he takes the payment of all the 3 bulbs. Okay, he says, I am not taking the bulb payment of the 2 which are unknown functional. Now what happens, that your asset is not maintained, not managed, not maintained, and still you are paying the amount, because he says, whatever I have done, you pay for me. That is called the BOQ kind of maintenance, bill of quantity kind of maintenance. And it is being done, it is being practiced everywhere like that only. Okay, maybe in some other good corporates or good countries, or maybe in the developed countries, what is required, the service level of the delivery. Okay, the level, like your satisfaction, user satisfaction, like the asset should perform for which it has been asked, it has been built for. So what I'm going to discuss in this, that we have introduced an asset management in the PMGSY for the rural roads which are spread all over the country. Okay, now how we will ensure that the users are having a good experience of the road, which we call performance based maintenance contract. Okay, now performance based maintenance contract, when we talk about, it entails so many things, because how will you assess the performance of an infrastructure? Maybe road, maybe building, maybe air conditioners, maybe powerhouses, anything. So first you need to know that how you will be assessing the performance to the entire satisfaction of the users. So this is one part, and second part is when you are assessing, it should be evidence based. It should be an objective system, and it should be then that objective system means we'll be assessing the performance, we'll be assigning the marks. Okay, so this looks to be a very tall effort. This looks to be a very tall claim, and that is what in for the rural roads in the PMGSY we developed this system and successfully implemented. Now I'll be sharing what are we doing and what we mean by asset management. And when we say asset management, when the road is constructed, it is constructed well. Okay, now if it is not managed, if it is not maintained, if the preventive maintenance is not done, what happens? The expenditure on its further maintenance and renewal will be huge. If we maintain the road or any infrastructure, or for that matter any services, in time, preventive maintenance, regular maintenance, then then the expenditure is involved is very less compared to if we had been ignoring it. So this is very important. And what happens that any infrastructure we make, so let's say for the rural road, the road should be available in good condition all the time to the citizens. Maybe whatever its life is, whenever it was constructed, let it be 20 years after its construction, let it be 25 years. So the challenge is that we need to develop a system wherein we ensure that in limited budget availability, the infrastructure or the rural roads are maintained well throughout their life of use. Life is what? It is for eternity, basically. Whatever road has been made, it should be maintained. If it is not maintained, then again we'll have the trouble. Again we'll have this problem of that the villages, they do not have the roads like we provided in PMGSY connectivity to the unconnected habitations. We talk about habitations, not the villages. So we reach to the last mile of the houses, habitations. So what happens that if so we provided the connectivity, let's say, and if the asset is not managed, what will happen? The road will be in bad condition, and after 15-20 years, again people will start saying there are no connectivity. There's no connectivity because the road is damaged to such an extent that you cannot approach it, and it will not be an all-weather approachable road. So this is what the importance of the asset management. And since these are the rural roads, the people involvement, the local community involvement, SSG's involvement, and the through CSR, the corporate involvement, and CSR funds, and maybe PPP mode if it is workable. So these are the things which may be thought upon. And since the participants are from different walks of life, definitely I am sure that this will be a very good interaction. And there will be very good suggestions which may come up during our interaction, which will help to maintain our rural roads asset management properly, and to involve every citizen, corporate, CSR, and all kind of fundings. Now I'll share with you the slides what I have prepared, what I am talking about, though some snapshot I have given. So okay, so I'll just see what I'll be how to share.
So there should be a box with an arrow at the bottom panel.
I know. Just a second. Okay, so I'll just want DLP presentation, post DLP. Okay, and I have got 3 slides, Ruchira. three different PPTs, and in the Chrome tab I'm seeing Windows. I should see. Okay, and which are very I have not shared on this platform. Okay.
If you click on the bottom arrow, present now,
Yes.
would give you options of presenting either your Chrome tab or window or entire screen. It's advisable to use entire screen so that when you make it full screen, we are also able to
Acha,
see.
okay, and then I will select my PPT. Okay,
Yes.
fine. I think.
We
I think.
we will just be looking at your screen, so whatever you see, we'll be able to see.
Okay, fine, fine. Yes, yes. Because every platform has got a different thing.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, are you able to see now?
Yes, we can see your screen. So if you now open the PPT, we'll also be
Yeah,
able to
I have
see.
opened. I have opened.
I
Is it
can't see.
visible?
So
I can't see the PPT. I can see the window that you have shared. Like I can also see
you
Google Meet inside your computer.
So, I'm sharing my PPT, and my first PPT is being shown. So, is it visible, or what screen is visible? Yeah,
I can see your browser window. Uh,
browser window. But then on my
you keep your,
laptop,
excuse me, sir. You keep your PowerPoint open already, and then start sharing.
sorry.
You open your PowerPoint and then start sharing,
Yeah, I have opened the PowerPoint. Acha, I opened the PowerPoint
and
and
then start sharing.
okay, okay, this is little okay tricky. Okay, I'll just stop sharing first of all,
Yes, please.
and
Now you
then
open in your
now I have opened
in your
on the
system
screen
open,
is
and then start
o-
sharing
okay. Start sharing present now.
the entire screen.
Okay,
Share entire screen.
share. Okay.
Click the entire screen. Share.
So Windows I have shared. Now you are presenting your screen. Okay, now I can see.
Now, if you minimize the browser, we will be able to see the.
Minimize the browser. Okay, fine. It's challenging for me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Something just changed?
Blank screen.
Is it changed?
We see the blank screen now.
The blank screen.
Uh, okay. So what I'll do, Ruchira, just not to waste the time, should I WhatsApp you?
Yes, yes, please, sir. I'll
This is
share it.
what I'll do. I'll WhatsApp you because there is no point in like it's little challenge sometime. I'm sorry. I'll
हाँ, कमलेश तुमने वो दूसरी गाड़ी तो जब जितने बार भी की बिल्कुल अच्छे से नहीं की नहीं अब तो है ही नहीं वो बहुत ही पीछे से बिल्कुल
Ruchira, I have WhatsApp you three presentations. Hello.
अगली बार जब उसको
Yes, I'm opening it, sir. Give me one moment.
Okay, so once the PPT comes, I'll just brief about that. So what has happened that in the PMGSY for the asset management, because what happens that we have constructed more than 750 kilometer of roads in the PMGSY. So these rural roads are scattered over all the geography, and they are deep inside into the rural areas and to the villages. And these roads, they are 750,000 kilometers, let's say, and they are of just generally the road length is for each road generally it is of on an average 4 kilometer or 5 kilometer. So that means there are umpty number of roads we have to. Yes, now the slide is visible. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruchira. Yes, so I think can go the full screen, huh? So what happens that the one what I'll be sharing now, that what is our total asset management system to ensure. Yes, so now the full screen is there. I hope it is visible to everyone. Okay, Dr. Ruchira. So I'll keep you busy. I think you will be changing the slides, Ruchira. Yeah. Hello. It was full screen.
Yes, sir. I will be changing the slides, but while I navigate the slides, I'll not be able to unmute myself. So I'll talk to you only through WhatsApp. So please continue on this, sir.
Okay. So I'll tell you to change, and I'm sorry to keep you busy for these things, but then, okay, thank you so much. Okay, so just to make a bigger screen, right. Okay, thank you so much. And okay, so now we call it the basically for our asset management system, we had given a very catchy name, EMAG, Electronic Maintenance of Rural Roads under PMGSY. So it's not that we electronically maintain the road. We take the services of IT technology, and that is why it is called electronic maintenance. So EMAG we call it, and we call it the road to digital transformation. Excellency in government processes re-engineering for digital information. So this our system, what we developed, EMAG, got so many national awards, and that too by the government of India, by the DRPG. The last year in the NCG meet, we got All India Silver Award for the EMAG and various other awards. So that it has already been recognized by many agencies for its usefulness and effectiveness. So the next slide we can go. So the defect liability period is the maintenance through EMAR, standard operating procedure for rural road maintenance. Now I'm going to explain here what we mean. The defect liability period, one term I am using, maintenance through EMAR, another term I am using, and standard operating procedure. So what happens that in other slides, we'll see, just next slide. Yeah, so defect liability period. So what does it mean actually? Now, if you see here a road photo, so the what happens that a contractor constructs a road, okay, and after the construction, in the normal course of the construction practices, the contractor constructs it and then he goes away, okay, whatever infrastructure he makes. Whatever quality he's making at the time of completion, people see that it is looking good, but then civil engineering infrastructure are in such a way that there could be some inherent defects, or the quality was not proper and the road may not behave properly. So in the existing traditional system, what happens that the contractor completes the road and then 1 year defect liability period is mentioned over there. It is generally everywhere, okay, for any civil engineering projects. So what does it, this 1 year defect liability period means? That during 1 year after the construction, if some defect, inherent defects, if defects because of the bad quality construction or something comes up, which is very debatable, because the quality is approved by the engineer. So the contractor always says that my quality was approved, then how can you say that this defect has arisen because of my poor quality? And the engineers will also not say anything that this was a poor quality. So what happens then, though the defect liability period of 1 year is mentioned, nothing happens actually. Nothing happens, as you might have seen. because the contractor will say, I have completed the work to the entire satisfaction of the department with all the quality control parameters done. So in PMGSY, we changed this drastically, a revolutionary change since the beginning of the program. So what is this change? That after the construction, the defect liability period will be for 5 years. Okay. And now in the 5 year, it includes every damage. It includes every damage incurred to the road because of any condition, because the road has been designed to last for the 10 years design life. So the contractor now is to maintain this road for 5 years. Okay. And in during this 5 year defect liability period, just to incentivize the contractor, because the 5 year when he maintains, he needs to be paid. So the contractor is paid every month, okay, every month for on a predetermined rates, the notional payment for maintaining the road. And if the contractor does not maintain the road, then there is a provision in the contract document that the action against the contractor can be taken in terms of the encashment of performance bank guarantee, security money, etc. Okay, so this is the concept. Now the challenge. So other slides will show you the challenge. This is what the standard operating procedure says. So next slide, please. So maintenance of rural road, as we know, rural roads constitutes more than 85% of the total road network in the India. And the rural roads acts as a facilitator to promote and sustain agricultural growth, improve basic health, provide access to schools and economic opportunities. So even NHIs, national highways are very important, but then the rural roads are even much greater importance actually to for the rural livelihood, for the economy at large. So the general notion that only the highways are contributing to the national economy, the rural roads are the major contributor, in fact much larger, and it is more than 85% of the rural road network, total road network. So the importance that we should not only build good roads, we should maintain it also. So then the whole policy talks about this. Though rural roads acts as a facilitator, as you all know, sustain agricultural growth, improve basic health, provide access to schools, poverty elevation, breaking the isolation of village communities, promote gender equality and empower women. So these are all socio-economic benefits of having a good rural road infrastructure maintained well. So the next slide will tell you the importance and need. So importance, I have emphasized that first time brought in the concept of defect liability period, where now I'm coming very specific for you to just appreciate it, where the contractor is obligated to carry out maintenance of the road constructed by him for the first 5 years and also rectify any deficiencies noticed during this period. The strategy has also helped in assuring good quality construction during the construction. So what happens that when the contractor is responsible for 5 years maintenance, he himself will do a good quality work. So the quality is built into this system. The only challenge was that how this is to be addressed, how it is to be made transparent, citizen involvement, and how to see that the roads are maintained well. Because even the National Highway Authority or the NHI, they claim that all their highways are very good. But in practice, when we see that the roads are not in such a good condition like it is expected, so how it is to be ensured that such vast network of rural roads in the vast area of the rural areas, where the it is not possible every time for the officials to see. So this is how we thought of developing a transparent, logical, evidence based objective system. So total it's not 6.07, it is more than 7.5 lakh. I'm sorry, this is not updated. So out of that, one more than actually 1.71 lakh roads are under 5 year routine maintenance, and more than 5.5 lakhs kilometers are under post 5 year. So now I'm talking about two terms: pre 5 year and the post 5 year. Pre 5 year means what? Immediately after the construction, 5 year of road maintenance. What is post 5 year? So that means after 5 year, what happens to the road? This was again further challenging. And in my next other slides, you will see that what I mean and how we handled it. So now the next slide will show you. So just see the benefit of sustained maintenance. It is not only the user's convenience, it is having a lot of effect onto the overall economy. overall budget, savings in government budget, improved business environment, regular and direct employment to local communities, lower vehicle operation cost, and of course pollution, and prolonged life of roads, enhance community satisfaction. Very important actually. One need to see that if a road is maintained well, see how much quality of life gets improved. So the next slide. The objective. So what we did actually at NRIDA, we designed the whole standard operating procedure. Okay. So this 5-year defect liability was mentioned since the launch of the scheme, but somehow it was not getting fructified onto the ground, and there was there was no proper system. So the IT revolution has made this possible, that we managed a very good system. So we designed the standard operating procedure again in consultation with all these states. So this is the beauty of it, that every stakeholder was consulted. So the large network of increasing maintenance as well as proper effective monitoring system. So in this SOP, we covered many things, huh? Like governance. The system shall be web-based digital platform. Evidence-based solution, as I've been talking about. Track on funds allotment utilization, effective maintenance monitoring mechanism. So the SOP defines the guidelines for carrying out the DLP maintenance of PMGSY road through EMARC, which I talked about, electronic maintenance of rural roads. So next slide, please. So the key challenges, what were the key challenges before us? Because if we want to design a system which is to be used all over India by in every village, and you know that the maintenance is the responsibility of the state. So we need to design, understand the challenges and design the system around it to be more acceptable and more implementable. So the effective road sector strategy policy framework, we need to see. Point A, policy framework. What is the policy framework? How we are defining our contractor responsibility? What are the legal aspect of the contract execution, so that it is not challenged legally, administratively, financially, right? Maintenance funding. Now, we saw that the road is not maintained because in the present system of the infrastructure construction, there is no emphasis, there is no focus on keeping the maintenance budget aside. As we know, like if we purchase a vehicle, okay, if we purchase a vehicle of, let's say, 10 lakh rupees, we know that this vehicle will demand at least 2% of its cost or 1% of its cost every year. So it's not only that we have the funds to purchase a vehicle, we must have recurring expenditure on maintenance to be allocated. But I'm sorry to say that in the government organization or the government infrastructure, government thinks about the capital expenditure and they do not cater for the increasing requirement of the maintenance budget. That is why we see that everything is built very nicely initially, maybe some quality issues, but then later on, we see that these public infrastructure is of no use because the regular maintenance is not there. Authorities will say we don't have maintenance fund. So again, my recommendation and my advice to all of you, wherever you are, to impress upon the government and on the policy maker that if in a year you are building an infrastructure of, so let's say, 1 lakh crore rupees, so there will be an expenditure of around what I expect 1 or 1.5% every year for the maintenance, right? So it is to be kept aside. Then only the government budget should work. So I hope someone like in the government, maybe the Niti Aayog and other people, they may be thinking, but there is no proper, I think, emphasis. So anyway, inadequate funding for maintenance for the roads have been seen in the rural areas by the state government. But after this system has come up, there has been tremendous improvement towards giving the maintenance fund. Weak integration of resource made available, effective management of maintenance funds. Then maintenance planning. Now, for anything you need good planning. Now, when we prepare the DPR for a new project, we do a lot of planning. But for maintenance, again, it is a neglected part. It's very sad affair. So we need to have very good data collection, near absence of rational planning for ensuring routine maintenance and preparation of annual maintenance plans, right? So then D part, institutional and technical capacity. Now we design any system, we do whatever we want. But if the institutional and technical capacity is not there, so like if the tools are not available, If the right kind of the organizational framework is not there, then it cannot be implemented. So we may make any good policy, we make so many laws and all that, but then its implementation has to be seen, implementation effects. So this is all we considered while framing this SOP. So the weak quality audit of maintenance works, yes, somebody has to do audit, like performance of road, how it was. Inadequate incentives to the contractor. So the contractor is to be properly rewarded and punished both way, incentives, disincentive, both. Then inadequate supervision and inspection. So we have to ensure, we found that there has not been adequate supervision. Okay, so there has not been proper supervision and inspections. So these are all what I'm saying, and what I'm trying to emphasize here on this slide, that whenever we make any policy or standard operating procedure or something, these framework, these points, major points, and maybe some other points would be there, needs to be considered in detail for making this any scheme to be successful. And EMARG has been an example that after considering all this, as we show in the, I'll show in the next slides, a few other slides, that how it has been implemented so quickly all over the India, because we considered every aspect of it. This is what the beauty of this scheme is. So the next slide, please. Okay, so outcome of standard operating procedure. So now in the SOP itself, we have written key what outcome results we want actually. So this is routine maintenance is to be done for the road. Periodic maintenance is to be done, routine and periodic. These are some of the terminologies which may get clarified in the next few slides. Rehabilitating the road, climate resilient standard, reducing the backlog, improving maintenance skill and institutional capacity. Okay, so these are the outcomes we thought that the SOP will give. Next. So EMARG is a web-based evidence solution. Now the in this era of technology and the IoT, internet-based things and other thing, Internet of the Things, IoT, so many things. So now it is possible. Now it is possible that what we do, everything is without discretion and without human intervention, and it has to be automatic. So EMARG as a web-based evidence solution has been developed through this SOP, which I'm going to explain. So one, planning. It is ensured that the planning is done properly. Budgeting is done properly. Execution is done. Monitoring of large number of roads is to be ensured. Involvement of the contractors. So they should be involved because they are the part of it. They are the responsible for it. Assessment of the performance of road. Now the road assessment in terms of marks. My road is having 85 marks out of 100. Road is having 100 marks, 90 marks. So these marks are given to the road, how it is performing over the period of time. So every month we need to see. Scrutiny of bills, it is to be generated automatically. The bill is to be scrutinized automatically, digitally, and keeping evidence. Now someone can say that I have maintained my road well and you have made me the payment, but then there has to be a database to showcase later on also. So this is what all the EMAR entails for. This software provides the inspection detail as well as payment details of each and every road. The software will be used by all SRRDs. The SOP explains the use of post-ERP maintenance module. Next slide, please. So performance-based maintenance contract. Now, I've been talking, so now you know what I'm talking about, the performance-based maintenance contracts. Payments are based on how well. Now, please mark these words. Please read these words carefully, because I said the infrastructure is to be maintained performance-based. And somehow, since I've been involved in performance-based this solution, and now it has become my passion and my responsibility to introduce in this country the performance-based system for all infrastructure. It has been my belief since the time, for a long time actually, for last 10-15 years, after dealing with so many infrastructure, I am now convinced that the performance-based maintenance is the only solution. Not, as I told, they change 3 bulbs and 2 bulbs they don't change, and they take the money and still you are unhappy, right? So the performance has to be measured. The payments are based on how well the contractors manages to comply with the performance standards or service level. Now you define the service level defined in the contract and not on piecework. Mind these words. Mind these words. You may take a screenshot. I'll send the PPTs also for your reference later on. But then once you collect the PPT, once you know that the PPT will be there, and then you don't like person thinks, okay, I'll see it later on. So just think that you will not be getting the PPT. Just think in your mind, and then you will be concentrating here so that it goes right into the right frame of mind. In PBMC, the contractor has to keep road in good riding condition throughout the year. Mark these words, throughout the year. It's not that he comes at the end of the year and takes all the payment, and for the 11 months the user suffers. No, he has to maintain every month, right? And how we do, because it's a very Herculean challenge to see so many number of roads if it is maintained every month in 5-year period or not, right? So any deficiency found during inspection is to be attended by the contractor. The payments are based on predefined performance metrics. So this I'll talk about what performance metrics we have seen, we have chosen. So again, when we implemented this PBMC solution, this EMAG in a lower scale or whatever in the pilot project, it was successfully checked in the state of MP for the PMDSY work. So this gave us a framework of success. Because if we want to implement something all over India, and that too in a very short span of time, we need to see that the concept is working. So this is how the MP was the first state to do all these things, and then at NRID level we replicated it for all the states. Next slide, please. So now execution of PBMC, performance based maintenance contract, how we execute what is written in the SOP. And this is replicable. This is replicable across the infrastructure kind of thing, across all kind of infrastructure, by just tweaking few things. So every 2 months, now I talked about that we see the road performance. So we see the road performance every 2 months. We wanted it to make it every month, but then this could have been very Herculean task for the shortage of staff with the state agencies. So we made it for 2 months. 2 months is also okay, and 1 month could have been okay, but the 2 months is also giving good result. So performance evaluation along with routine inspection shall be done in every 2 months, right? For performance evaluation, the road is divided into kilometer-wise segments. Now, why? Like your road is 5 kilometer or 10 kilometer in length, for a particular contractor. Now, if you see the road performance, it is to be divided in some small stretches. So we decided to divide into kilometer-wise stretch. Then we monitor for every kilometer the performance, and the payment is made accordingly. During performance evaluation, the maintenance condition of the road is evaluated on the basis of performance indicators. I'll talk about the performance indicator. If any segment of the road, entire road, get less than 80 marks, no payment shall be made to that segment. 80 marks. 80 we have kept it as a threshold. In some segments of the road gets less than 80 marks in 2 successive performance evaluation Ps, then no payment. So what happens that some stretches are always bad. So if they are bad in the next evaluation also, then no payment will be made for the complete stretch. So in same segment gets less than 80 marks in third P also, the action against the contractor shall be initiated as per the contract. So as per contract, the action can be taken against the contractor, because now we have the evidence of the failure of the contractor, because the contract laws, contractual obligation says that if you want to initiate any action against the contractor, there has to be legal evidences available for your success in claiming from the contractor. This becomes very important. So EMAR provides all these evidences. Next slide, please. So just for the purpose of referring to what all specification and technical guidance are there. So IRC, Indian Road Congress is the main this thing organization to guide onto the roads. So some of the codes are mentioned here, that based upon these codes, our maintenance activities we are performing. So it is all scientifically based. And I think people are raising hands. We can do it, Ruchira, later on, isn't it? So I think we'll take the question answer later on. Next slide, please.
643.
So the types of maintenance activity. So as we know, the activities are preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance. We know about it. So preventive maintenance includes what all? It is written there. Corrective maintenance includes patch repair, and then the routine maintenance, which is cyclic activities and the reactive activities. So these are all scope, what all is to be done and how it is to be planned. Next slide, please. So routine maintenance consists of following activities. So these are given in our IRC document and MORD documents, that what are the frequencies, what are the frequencies on which these maintenance is to be done. So for any infrastructure work, maintenance, asset management, these needs to be identified, and we have identified for the roads, and generally it is based upon the IRC recommendations and the MORD specification. Next slide, please. So the special repair works. So in addition to the routine maintenance or the preventive maintenance, there could be, in case of roads, there could be natural calamities, landslides, snowfall, etc. So then this is called a special repair, because this is not the responsibility of the contractor. If something happens differently beyond the use of the road, then the special repair works are always sanctioned, and then special repair works restores everything as it was. Upgradation. So with construction of PMDSI roads since last 2 decades, there has been a significant change in the nature and volume of traffic. As a result, roads are damaged due to increase in traffic. Upgradation work consists of following. Now, one more thing comes in addition to maintenance. If the traffic increases, that means now the crust thickness is to be increased. So that is called upgradation. So naturally, it will not come under the maintenance. It will come under the increased traffic and the redesigning of the road and reconstruction, which we call it upgradation. So that is what we are doing, upgradation for certain roads. Next slide, please. So the maintenance planning and road inventory. So the basic issues. So roads are being maintained wherever construction agency is also responsible for maintenance. Roads are better maintained if the construction agency who constructs maintains it. So this is another our recommendation, that the it should not be changed. The agency should not be changed for the maintenance. Whoever has constructed. In some of the state, this is still a small problem, where the roads after construction are handed over to the PWD by the PMGSY. So this we recommend, it should not be done actually. Change in the ownership of the road should also not be done during the routine maintenance. The period of maintenance: bituminous road 5 years, gravel roads 2 years. Removal of encroachment shall be done by the committee presided by the block level officer of any encroachment, so that the road does not get damaged. Next slide, please. Concept of RCI. So payment condition index, we know the concept of RCI was tried again in the MP, and which involves the detailed inspection of road at every 100-meter interval. So this is just think what we'll be using PCI or the RCI, road condition index, to understand how the road is performing. Net asset replacement value of the road. So this needs to be worked out in our long-term planning of the maintenance of roads. Next slide, please. So standard bidding document. So this just talk about that what kind of bid, the bid document we need to prepare, and what all sections it shall consist of. Any good contract document. So this is just a general idea what all sections are involved in preparing a bid document, because this is very important to prepare a good contract document to make it enforceable. Next. So the relevant clauses. This is for the officers or the participants who are in the execution of PMGSY scheme. And just to give a reference, that in the SOP we took care of the existing contract document clauses for its effective implementation. So we dovetailed, when we prepared the SOP, we dovetailed what all existing documents should be in synchronization with the issued SOP. So this is what is talk about, that what para of the standard bid document helps in ensuring the maintenance of the roads. So this is just reference of those paras. Those who are involved with the PMGSY execution, they are all aware about it and they can note it. Others participant can also see that what all parameters, what all clauses helps in. So you can just read these paras, that what are the responsibility of the contractor. Next slide, please. Yeah, again, these are the clauses. Just see, yes, very beautiful clause. Clause 38.2C, read this clause. If the bill for a month is not received from the contractor by the 10th day of the succeeding month, or if the engineer has not certified that the contractor has carried out the maintenance work for defects brought to his notice under clause 32.6 within a specified period, no payment will become due to the contractor for that month. Now, this is a very important clause. Actually, this clause has instigated us in preparing the EMARC, our digital solution. So what happens? What this clause is trying to say? This clause is trying to say that what I said, that the road is to be maintained in good condition every month, not this that you wait for 6 months or 10 months and then you maintain. So this is why this clause is there in the standard bid document of PMGSY works, that the contractor has to submit his maintenance bill every month, and if he fails to submit by 7 days, 8 days, if he fails to submit it by a 10th day of the succeeding month, okay, so then even if he has done evidence based good maintenance, he will not be paid. So this clause was just to ensure that every month road is being inspected and the bills are regularly submitted. This was not possible, obviously, in the manual submissions, because there is no hard and fast, hard evidence that whether the contractor has delayed in submission of bill. And that was the biggest problem in denying the payment to the contractor in the manual system, which was prior to EMARC. And there were many court cases. So now the EMARC has made it sure that everything is now digitally available. Everything has got digital evidence. So this has made the whole maintenance exercise very, very effective. So implementation of this clause was nicely drafted, nicely written, but it was not implementable without the proper tools. So that is what the EMARC has been given. Next slide, please. So the relevant clauses in the SBD for maintenance during DLP are maintained. The provision of submission of bill by contractor is as per condition 38A. The contractor shall submit to the bill every month. Okay, if the bill for a month is not received, 38C. In case the contractor fails in keeping road in good serviceable condition and does not attend defects, strict action will be taken against the defaulting contractor as per SBD. So this is what all provisions were there, and EMARC has ensured, and this SOP has ensured that these are become implementable, executable without any controversy or without any legal challenges. Next slide, please. So e-maintenance of rural roads with the EMARC. So how does it happen? NIT creation, package freezing, contractor registration, package freezing, manual expenditure, bill submission. This is all the process. So all process we have minutely defined in the SOP and we have included in the EMARC. So this is for your reference, that whenever an SOP or something is made, it has to be made very, very effectively considering all these aspects, right? Next slide, please. So guidelines for performance evaluation. Now here you see, if I think these wordings are in very small font, but you see that there are 12 parameters when I was talking about how we do marking. How do we do marking that the road is performing? So see the 50 marks. 50 marks obviously is given for the potholes and all that. Maintenance of bituminous surface road and or gravel road or WBM road, including filling potholes and patch repair, etc., as per clause 1904, 1906 of a specification. Then 10 marks are given rain cuts. 20 marks are given for bumps and shoulders are very important. So we have given very high marks, 20 marks to the bump shoulders maintenance. Similarly for other items. So this totals up to 100. Now the marks is to be given. How the marks are given, I'll just show how it is recorded. Next slide. So how the inspections are to be done. So 1 stitch in time saves 9. So this is what we know the proverb. So this is what the preventive maintenance to be done. It is necessary to timely maintain road and assure the quality of the maintenance. So at the PIU level, at the executive engineer level, when he's having assistant engineers and junior engineers, so at least 1 routine inspection in 2 months is mandatory for every road. As I said, every 2 month road is to be inspected. Routine inspection is to be done for every kilometer stretch of the road. I've already said. Defects, if any, observed in inspected road will be intimated by the inspecting officer to the concerned contractor, and the contractor will get the defects rectified. All rectification work shall be as per relevant IRC specification. Then monitoring at SRRDA level, right? So the monitoring now, since it is digitally available, evidence is available, road performance is available. So all on this website and the mobile application, the monitoring can be done at the highest level, at the state level headquarter, and by MORD and NRIDA at the national level. So these inspections is to be seen and this to be monitored. It is built into the EMARC. Next slide, please. So EMARC inspection app is there. We have a mobile app generated, mobile app prepared. So EMARC inspection app is there for inspection. EMARC notification app is there where the contractors, engineers, everybody is notified what is lying ahead, what has not been done, and how the road is not being maintained or maintained, what are the marks. So all this legal notification goes through the EMARC notification app. So some of these screenshots are shown on this slide. Next slide, please. So how this notification, because to make it legally enforceable, what all notifications are being given, you just can read this one. Contractor will get notification through SMS and email before 7 days of due date of the bill. PIO in charge will get notification when the inspection is due. So all these things are now automated. Nobody has to remember anything. Okay, what is due, where the inspection is to be done, where the marks are to be given. So all these things are done through the SMS and the email. So the right kind of action can be taken by the right kind of officials or the contractors. Next slide. Yeah. So this is what the SOP says. Okay. And how we framed it. Now, before Ruchira, before we take up the question, can I go to the next slide to show how the EMARC functions? Yeah. Okay. So I'll request Dr. Ruchira, if you make EMARC introductory presentation, that's the slide. EMARC introductory presentation. So now I'll show you that how this system works actually. Now I've shown you the how this we planned the system. The first slide, please. I think is it the first slide? EMARC introductory. Right. Okay. Okay. Next slide, please. Yes. Okay. So this is one. Okay. So as this slide says, 7,52,581 roads, kilometer of roads have been constructed so far. We have connected more than 1,80,000 habitations, and actually this is 3,77,000 crores of the asset value. It's a huge amount of investment. Almost 4 lakh crores have been invested by the government. So this is to be maintained. And the next slide, please. Now this will show you how the EMARC functions. Like it will give you a snapshot on it. So 12% of India's overall road network, 7,52,000 what we constructed, 5-year defect liability period, 3,24,626 roads in DLP at any given point of time. So somehow around 3 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs kilometer of roads are there in the 5-year DLP period, which we need to manage. So road length segmentation based on phase of scheme. Phase 1, we in the PMJSY 1, we have constructed 6,23,110 kilometer of road. 2, we have constructed 48,712 kilometer, and PMJSY 3 so far, we have constructed 71,935 kilometer road. So 43.52% of the road length constructed under PMJSY is currently under maintenance period. Next. So see the volume and huge. Now the problem statement. Now, most of the things I have talked about. What was the problem statement before us? So that we have made the EMARC system and this tool and digital and other thing. Because as I said, in the manual system, it would have been impossible to keep marking system, give marks, keep evidence, keep photographs, let longitude, time stamped, geo stamped, and the time stamped. So what was the problem statement? Maintenance of a huge road network cannot be done manually. Enormous investment, huge administrative burden on district engineers. Now manually, if they need to do every day, they would be busy in doing all the paperwork. Purely manual and absence of any standardization, no standardization, anybody would be doing anything, missing governance, non-uniform frequency of inspection. Anytime the works are being inspected, not being adhered to, that the work is to be inspected every 2 months. Imbalanced incentive to the contractors were not being paid, or they were not being penalized. Absence of evidence-based assessment and measurement-based payment. So these are all the problem statement before the advent of EMARC. Next slide, please. So re-engineering. So what we did, the process re-engineering of rural road maintenance. We have brought in performance-based maintenance contract. We digitized the platform, the whole platform. We did the process automation and optimization, mobile application-based inspections, SMS notification reminders, and data analytics for effective monitoring. So this is this sum and substance what I've been talking about for last 1 hour, that how what all the system involves. This gives you a snapshot. Next slide, please. So performance-based maintenance contract. Next slide. What does it mean? Again, this explains. So the contractor submits the physical bill for maintenance of road, bill of quantities. This is what the mechanism earlier, as I explained before by giving the example of 3 bulbs and 5 bulbs maintenance of your house electricity or whatever. So what happens in the BOQ-based system before EMAG? Contractor submits the physical bill. So there is a manual involvement. The bill is based on quantity of material. PIU receives the bill. PIU inspects the road. Now, when he inspects the road, there is no record. Does he inspect the road? No record. Does he inspect the road every month? No record. PIU verifies if the bill is genuine. No, he's verifying. How will he verify such a huge bills? And that too measurement based. How can he measure and check all the potholes on the stretch of kilometer of road? The account officer adds taxes, bill gets approved, check is given, record of payment is done manually. Right? So these are all challenges. You see the right side of the slide. These are all the challenges before we developed this SOP and this system. Next slide, please. So see the manual system. Now nothing can be verified on manually written measurement books. And you are measuring like this. Is it possible? I've been saying that in the maintenance, the people really, they don't measure it, though it is officially not proper to say, but they don't, it's not possible to measure all the potholes and the rain cuts and everything. So you need to do entry into your measurement books. In the measurement books, it is written, we can't read this, just see all this, and everybody has done the check. So this was the system, and this is the system for all infrastructure maintenance if we don't switch over to performance-based system. Next. So switching to performance-based maintenance contract, outcome-based monitoring. Outcome-based monitoring. The road has to be good. Performance has to be good. Evidence-based. So nobody can challenge. There are evidences. Quality in construction is rewarded. So if a contractor does a good quality work, 1 year or 2 year, 3 year in rural road, he would not need to do any maintenance, any big amount of work for restoration, because the quality has been good. So then the contractor is rewarded. He has done a good quality. He gets the payment, whether there is the road is to perform, whether he has done a single rupee of work there or not. The shoulders is to be maintained, grass is to be cut, drainage is to be maintained. And then if he has done all this quality and some of the small maintenance activities doing, he gets the payment. Then no requirement for detailed measurement, which is a source of difficulty and source of probably the misappropriation of money, corruption and all that. So payment made to the contractor based on the condition of road maintained by the contractor. If the marks are less than 80, as I said earlier, so if it is less than 80, he doesn't get anything. Payment is nil. Between 80 to 100, then it's a proportionate payment. So let's say if it is 85 marks, then he gets 85% of maintenance bill. 85%. Next. So just to keep it that the road is done, all stretches are maintained properly. So we devised a very methodical and mathematical solution. So see, now we call it performance evaluation. Routine maintenance inspection is done. Performance evaluation where marks are given based upon those 12 parameters. So suppose in the month of January, he does P, okay? Then month of January, then yeah. So now, let's say for 1 kilometer, he gets for first stage 75 marks, 82, 78, 86, and 85. So no payment for the entire road is to be done as two stretches gets less than 80 marks. Okay, it is very stringent. If the two stretches you are not maintaining, you will not get any marks. In the second scenario, so no payment for the entire road as average marks, entire road is less than 80. So for entire road, marks have to be more than 80. So even if your marks are 82 or 81, 83, 82, but one stretch you are getting only 70, you will not get the payment, right? Another scenario, you check the average of all the marks, average of all these stretches. So 82.2 is the average. So you get 82.2% of the payment. Now P of March, as I said, the P we do every 2 months. So after January, P is done in March. So now in the P, no payment as same stretch gets less than 80 marks in 2 successive P. Mind it. If the same stretch gets like this one is getting, the first stretch is getting less than 80 marks in the second P also. So no payment for the entire road will be given, because Contractor may say that I am contractor. What will do? He'll maintain some 6 stretches are automatically maintained. There are no potholes. The one stretch will always be in difficulty. He'll say, pay me for the remaining stretches. No, payment will not be given. If it is continuous into successive P, one P you will be pardoned. So a lot of care has been taken to devise this mathematical innovative system. Next slide, please. Then platform digitalization. What we did in platform digitalization. Next slide. So this is platform digitalization. So we have the NIC as our support partner for developing the system, mobile app and all that. So we have our huge database that is called OMAS. Then we have got REST web service goes, and then all this is maintained. So if you're interested to know about it, just see that what digitalization we have done and how big, how many things it involves. Next slide, please. Process automation and optimization. Third. So next slide. So this is how we did the process automation. Now, a GIS-based enterprise and e-governance solution to assist the officials and contractors in carrying out maintenance roads under PMGSY. So one NIT creation is done, package freezing is done, contractor registration is done on the EMARC, package freezing then is done, then manual expenditure is entered, bill submission, bill verification. So these are the parallel processes you just see. So nothing hinders. Like we do not have the serial processes, we have the parallel processes. So all these things can be easily executed. Next slide. So this is how. Now, in earlier slide, the detailed process flow was shown. Here, just see, there are two parallel processes. Online registration, contractor will do. Inspection will be done by the department. At some point, they merge when the bill is generated. Bill is automatically generated. You need not to do any calculation, other thing. Just keep giving the marks. The system will generate based upon the logic what has been given. And then the payment goes to the contractor directly in his account without issuing any check or something. It goes directly into his account through the bank. Next. So automated bill submissions. So we have just tried to summarize what was before and what is after. Automated bill submission, how it is being done after the EMARC and how it was done before the EMARC. So one can read that what all being was happening and then how it has made the process very easy now. Next slide, please. So routine inspection, how it was being done before. There was no routine inspection, there was no record, there was no evidence. Now in the after, just see, they're all independent of bill submission. Inspection are all independent of bill submission. Whether the bill is submitted or not, inspections are done. Automatic notifications are sent and all these things. Next. So bill processing and approvals, how the bill was being done before all manually. Now after, everything is digitized. Everything is automated. So this is what the re-engineering. Next. Voucher and scroll generation. So how the bill was being paid earlier with the through checks and all that. Now in the EMARC, we generate the vouchers and the scrolls, and these scrolls goes to the bank, and then the bank makes the payment direct without any intervention by anybody. Next. So the payment to the contractors, again, it is being done digitally, and earlier it was done through the check payments. Next. So the mobile application based inspection. So we need to have, yes. Next slide, please. So the role of the CSR we'll discuss, because now the CSR has to see that how they can help in managing the road network and the maintenance in the rural areas. Next slide, please. So the mobile application. So these are the mobile applications wherein all these activities can be done very easily. Screenshots of the mobile application is given. Next slide, please. So routine inspection, road picture available on GIS for monitoring. Now all these points are available. Now any citizen, that is where I think maybe the CSR activity may get involved, that you can see, and these are digitally available. They are available on the EMARC to the good governance in rural and accident cases. So these are available on Citizen platform, and one can see. So probably I'll look into this thing that even the CSR can come in the form of citizens intervention. because one or two citizens may not understand the thing. So CSR is an organ, a CSR or corporate may come into the CSR funds, wherein they see that what all is being done, and then they can intervene by approaching the government, because here you can see on these points how the road has been maintained, and all these photographs and other things will be shown, and what payment has been done. Next slide, please. So see if this slide, yes, this slide moves. Now, this is very important. This is what I call mouse hovering over to the road. Now, what does that, what I mean by this? So you are seeing some points. Now see, this photograph is moving onto these points. And then on the right side, though it is not visible, no, but very readable, it says that how the road was in which condition, in which month of the period, which period, and how much payment was made. So this is complete transparency, and it is available to the citizens. So there, I think some good organizations or the good citizens may come in, and then they pinpoint and they ask the state government that, see, the road was not maintained properly, and even you have made the payment. So this is a curb, this is a restraint, this is a transparency, where the road can be moved onto the screen with the help of the mouse, and the state authorities, central authorities, citizens, everyone can see and pinpoint and raise the issue. So this is where the involvement of the citizen comes in. Next slide, please. Yeah, next. So these are the, as I said, all notifications to go to all the contractors, executing officials, and everybody, so that they comply with all the requirement. And the legal requirement, most important is the legal requirement to take action against the defaulting contractor, wherein you have all the records. So I'll just show you how this has helped in giving all the notifications without any dispute or without any legal claim or without any court cases. Next slide, please. Data analytics for effective monitoring. Now all this, everything collect, next slide, all this collects the data and how we analyze the data. So now lots of data is generated, even for the citizens, for the organizations, for the corporates, for the social organizations, and for the state SRRDAs and the NRIDA to see. So see what has been done. Bill submission. E-bill is submitted in one click. Nothing is to be prepared. It is to be just one click, bill submitted. All calculation will be done. So there is no dispute around date of submission, monthly alerts for the bill submission. Routine inspection is triggered by bills before. This is given on the left column, before and after. So bi-monthly inspection is done through EMR mobile app with geotag photos. Mobile notification for reminders. Verification of bill amount calculated by the system based upon the marks, as I have said earlier. Next slide, please. So voucher generation, payments, cost saving, and data analytics. Process level monitoring, report reviews, photographs, and GIs are available. Next slide, please. So photos. So we have given the instruction how the photos are to be taken. So these are the instructions what to do. This is for the guidance of all the staff and the contractors. Next. Dashboard. Now here just see an MIS report. So bill in process, just see 4,67,467. Roads having zero payment. So we have saved the money. I'll just tell you about that. Bill submitted. 18,54,000 bills have been submitted. Payment disbursed more than 3,037 crore. We actually, the full-fledged system came in 2020 only. And 3,037 crore we made through this system successfully. And the zero expenditure is in 45,098 roads, zero expenditure. Roads having zero payment, 31,608. Next slide, please. So bills pending, bills submitted, all this process comes. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide. Again, data verification. I know what all things are coming. RI, routine inspection done, routine inspection missing. Next slide. Next slide, please, Ruchira. This is what we developed, like logged packages. There are various processes involved. So for various states, where they are in various stages of the thing. So this is known to everyone and it is shown on the dashboard of the eMark. Next. So dashboard and MIS report, you can see various kinds of data is being generated. Now this data, what is being generated, is available to everyone. And again, I can understand that any social organization can do audit on it and must do audit on it, including probably the CSR, using the CSR funds and all that. Maybe if these things can be done. Next. So more than 30 reports are available, monitoring through various reports, inspection analysis is available. All these photographs are available. Geotech photograph of the road, bills with zero payment. Next. So total payments disbursed, as I said, 3,037 crore. 9 major states have made a payment of 2,280 crores. 20 other states have made a payment of 757 crore. And we made a savings also. I think if somewhere is there, I'll just show. Next slide. So this is how the journey started. That 1st February 19, there was a official start of the project concept. And then by April 19, October 19, we developed the product. Training conducted in May 19 and February 20 and October 19, first payment was made. Just see, from 1st February to October 19, in such a small period of time, short period of time, we developed the whole system and the first payment was done in October 19. And now we are standing in 2024 with a payment of 3,037 crore. Next. So these were the snapshots where the trainings, extensive trainings were given to the state officials, attended by all, more than 10,000 engineers across the states. Next. So this is what, and this slide was not there. Out of 3,037 crore, we have saved more than 1,200 crore, 1,200 crore of money we have saved. How we saved this money? Because marks were given as per the performance of the road, so the payment was deducted. The bill were not submitted in time, the payments were deducted. The penalties were imposed onto the contractor of not maintaining the road. So all this savings have been possible without any contractual complication or legal notices or any court cases or any single complaint. Earlier in the manual system, it used to be an Herculean task of handling so many contractors' complaint. But since this digital system has come, nothing is coming. All these are including GST. Yes, these are all including GST. So, Ruchira, here I'll stop before I'll go for post-defect liability period, because now I have covered asset management for the 5-year defect liability period as given in the contract document for the PMGSY. So then I talked about that, how we are ensuring that the roads are maintained for the full life. For the full life means entire, for the eternity rather, for entire life, eternity, like the roads are maintained. So that is called post 5-year. So before this, Dr. Ruchira, if you want to say something, or somebody.
Sir, I think since we are approaching the closure of the program, I think now we can take some questions and interact with the participants.
Yeah, I understand.
And they have a lot of questions. I understand a lot of hands are being raised and there are a lot of comments on the chat box. So I will actually, I had changed the setting to not allow participants to unmute, but I'll change that now. So I'll just quickly change my host controls and
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, Dr. Ruchira, just give me 1 minute. I'll just take a glass of water and I'll come back. And
Yeah,
by that
sure,
time,
sure.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we can answer. And then post 5-year, we can discuss at any point of time in any other lecture. Okay.
Right, right. Definitely, definitely.
I'll just come in 1 minute.
Sure, sure. Please. So to our participants, I have now changed the host controls in a manner that you can unmute yourself and ask your question. And my request is that when you ask your question, please first introduce yourself and then ask your question. And also, please make the questions pointed. I understand that you have a lot to ask and lot to discuss, but we will definitely connect you with each of our resource persons. So it's not like this will be the last time we will get to speak with them. So you can also have book your personal appointments and discuss with our experts and resource persons. So for this lecture, I would request you that please ask a pointed question which our resource person can answer. And if you need to discuss more, you can of course take their time and set up your separate appointment to have a focused discussion. So let us give a 2-minute break while sir comes back to the lecture, and you can introduce yourself and ask your question.
Dr. Ruchira ji, what the great session is you have to conduct it. Sorry, first I give my introduction. Myself, Engineer Ayub Jamal Khan, working as a Deputy Engineer in Rural Water Supply Department, Maharashtra. सर ने बहुत अच्छी टेक्निकली बातें बताई हैं जो आज तक मेरे कुछ ज्ञान में नहीं थी, इसलिए मैं टीम एनआरडी, स्पेशली डॉक्टर रुचिरा भट्टाचार्य जी, स्पेशली डॉक्टर रमेश सर जी, इनका शुक्रगुजार हूँ. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
मैडम जी, एक रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ कि इट इज द रिक्वेस्ट फ्रॉम ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट्स. दे वांटेड टू बी ऑल द प्रेजेंटेशन पीपीटी for the reading and for using and practical implementation.
Yes,
Thank you.
we shall share all the resources, and just for your knowledge, these sessions are recorded and they are published in our YouTube channel, of NIRDPR Delhi's YouTube channel. So you can please subscribe to the channel to get access to these recordings at any time you want. Sir has joined us, and I would request our participants to one by one unmute themselves, starting with Mr. Jaspal Singh. I think his hand is raised. You can please
Yeah,
unmute
okay.
yourself, introduce, and
Yeah.
ask your question.
Okay.
Yeah, very good afternoon. And first of all, very good presentation, sir. I actually have a very illogical or logical, whatever you can say, but basic question, sir. My first basic question is like, sir, when we come up with this sort of e-technology and we are sharing it with the government agencies, that's fine, sir. I understand that part. But when it comes with the contractor of the rural areas, we are very well aware that these contractors are not very well versed with the technology. Whether your organization did a training program for those local contractors or not? This is my first question, sir. Please.
Okay, Mr. Jaspal Singh, I can see you are journalist and Greenpeace or what? You are from which organization, Mr. Jaspal? Am I audible? Dr. Ruchira, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible to me.
So I asked Jaspal Singh ji, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir, I am actually from Socially Active Youth in Action organization. It's a SAYA, and it works with the urban as well as in the rural, in the tribal zones. And I was a journalist, and I practice it sometimes writing as a freelancer nowadays, but more into more practical.
Yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you are connected with the people, and this is what our aim is, that our scheme and our maintenance efforts and our road condition is 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 scrutinized and is commented upon logically and commented upon justifiably, that the if the road is not maintained properly and if it was in maintenance. So this is what one. And your question is, what I understood is very pertinent, as what you said, that the contractors, they are not probably in the rural areas, they are not trained or something, and they may not be knowing what to do. So this is what actually we are helping the contractor in capacity building. Now the what is happening, like in the for the 5-year defect liability period, contractor was earlier not aware what to do, how to do the maintenance, what are all his liabilities, when he has to do the inspection, how to submit the bill, how to get the marks. Okay, now in this system nothing is to be done by the contractor as such for understanding part. He has to only register onto the EMAG website as a contractor, and that registration is just to ensure that he gives his phone number and the OTP comes to him. And then what happens, the when he opens up the app, it says your bill submission date is due. He need not to do anything, he just click that I am submitting the bill. So his submission of the bill is important, because he becomes part and parcel of the contract management, contract law. So when he submits the bill, what happens, that the routine inspection is done by the engineers. So they go every 2 months, they take the photograph at the random location generated by the app, And based upon those photographs, now I forgot to mention, these photographs are now being scrutinized by the artificial intelligence. So when the marks are given, the artificial intelligence prohibits and prevents for giving either less or more marks. So once the mark is given, the bill is automatically generated and it automatically goes into the payment system. And if the work is not done properly, if the marks are less than 80, contractor gets the notice, and then he will get the penal punishment and other thing. So for the understanding of the e-mark, we have explained it to the contractor. It is written in the contract document. And what you said, that the contractor who are participating in the rural roads, you would be happy to note that in the last 20 years, we developed the pool of the contractors, a bigger pool of the contractors who knows how to do a good road construction. And you go into the villages, and this PMGSY contractor will tell you how the compaction is to be done, how the quality is to be maintained, how the aggregate grading is to be seen. Now these contractors, they know because of the spread of the PMGSY. So I hope I am able to answer some of your queries.
So, yes, sir. But there is one more thing. Now, that is just linked with this. Now, when in the initial stage, we are well versed that no one was aware of it, right? You have accepted that part also, right? Now, the question comes when we are speaking about that we have, there are many bills that have been pending. When it comes with the small contractors, when the bills are being pending, and whose fault was it? Was it the administrative fault? Was it the contractor fault? How does we, find that thing? Because we also know we are well versed with the corruption system of our our nation, and no contract goes without the corruption. It's been such a worst thing in our country, and in such a scenario when the new technologies have come up, and when we see that yes, we are trying to reduce the corruption on that line, but then too, the amount that reaches to the contractor, even when if they are paid completely, the amount has to be resent to few of the political leaders, few of the administrative officers. In such a scenario, the quality goes down. In initial stage, those who have faced the loss might have even closed their company, and even the neighbors must have not reached duty. In such a scenario, is there any incentive that you have created, or is there any way
Yeah,
out?
Mr. Jaspal Singh, yes, your query is quite fruitful, and I can understand. This is what I've been explaining for 1.5 hour, that this is an scheme, and this is the system which has made everything so transparent that we are able to deduct out of 3,200 crores 1,200 crore rupees. Okay, so that means the system has become transparent. As far as you rightly said, that the corruption comes when when the system gives
Dear
discretion.
public, requesting you
When the
all
system
do
when
not
the
use this for next 15 minutes. Thank you.
I think others can mute. So when the system gives discretion and there are no evidence, in the emark system, as I explained, and I could convey the meaning, I could convey, if I could have conveyed, that this system is fair, is totally transparent, evidence based, artificial intelligence, citizen participation. That is why we want that after seeing this emark dashboard on the citizen section, let the people comes out and they say, no sir, still the marks were given more because the road was not in good as per your own photograph. Now, one more system which I forgot to mention, we are introducing now, and you could have pointed out that also. You could have noted. I think you might have noted it also. That we are saying that for every 2 months we are taking on 1 kilometer 2 photograph only. So the people may say that 2 photographs are not enough, and that too taken by the departmental engineers. Now, what we are introducing, we are generating QR code for every rural road which are in under maintenance. QR code, the citizen will come and scan the QR code onto the mobile app, and what he'll do, he himself will take photographs of the bad condition of the road or good condition of the road. Those photographs will get joined for the routine inspection in the normal course of the time, and the artificial intelligence will read those photographs also, and the marks will be given accordingly. So what I am saying, that instead the citizen complains, when the citizen gives complaint, it goes to the officials and they say nothing is found correct. What we are doing, we are removing the complete complaint system. We are making the citizen part as a department, as a JE, as a AE, and he gives the marks and the payment is done accordingly. And if the road is not maintained, then all legal action is taken against the contractor. So I hope some of the thing I could answer.
Sir, I think we can take a question from
Yes,
Yogesh, followed by
yes,
Uma, and then Vinay and Nitya.
yes,
And that is
yes,
the last of the questions, please.
yes,
Yogesh,
Yogesh.
please
Hello,
ask.
sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for giving the opportunity to asking a questions. Uh, I'm from a corporate organization and just wanted to understand about how to we, make a partnership with a local rural infrastructure. As of now, we are approaching the district administration as well as state administration to how to be partnering with for the development of rural administration, rural roads under our CSR activities. But still, we are couldn't find any way where we can go and sign a MOU because of the system. When we reach to the district administration, they are not able to sign a MOU, and in similar kind of things in happening in a state level. So is there any system or policy we can adhere that policy and sign a MOU in a state level or maybe a district level, so that we can easily connect our neighboring location or our surrounding villages or develop their rural development, rural road especially.
Okay, so I understand that you want to spend your CSR funds for the either the construction or the upkeep or maintenance of roads or the tree plantation or other thing. Are you saying this?
Yes, sir. You are right, sir.
Yeah. Yes, this is good actually. When you are there to offer the funds and CSR activities allows all these things, then you what you can do, what I'll suggest, that you select few stretches of the road, and then you prepare a small DPR and then say that on these roads, let's say for the road safety. So these roads on the for the road safety aspect, we will do these things for its correction because you need to have experts with you. So you find that the road is not having a proper road safety measure. For example, I'll just give you an example. Like for the hilly roads, you find that there is a valley side of the road and it is not well protected by the crash barriers. Instead, it is done by with some stone masonry or something. So these things you can point it out specifically in a DPR, and then when you propose that I would do all these things free of cost, that means using your CSR funds, definitely the district administration or the state administration will be very happy to accept it. But in any case, if you find any difficulty in accepting your proposal, you can always write to the NRIDA that you want to do these things along with this DPR and that too at your own cost. So you can do it for the new construction or the correction. Similarly, for the maintenance, when the road is after the because 5-year maintenance is done by the contractor. So you can approach the district administration or to us that after 5-year construction, the road is in a wet condition and we want to do resurfacing and recarpeting, and prepare a DPR, and you can approach and definitely it should be accepted. Or you can approach NRID also, I'll intervene.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Joshi. Thank
Yogesh,
you.
I hope you will be approaching sir with your DPR soon. We will share his contact with you. Um,
Yeah, I got some clarity. So let me again connect with the district administration in
yes,
this
yes.
way as suggested by. So
Yeah.
we'll, you know, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the question from Ms. Uma Mageshwari and then Dr. Vinay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Uma Mageshwari from Tamil Nadu. So I want to understand about how geospatial is working on in the tribal areas. In the tribal areas, the work is going on with the contractors, but how especially working on the geospatial? Because this I couldn't find out any of the people has submitted that geospatial proof when they are paying the bill.
Miss, no, एक minute, Uma, from which organization you are?
I'm from rural department as well as I'm working for some of the NGOs as a freelancer.
So your question is that what you are not getting?
Uh, in geospatial, I'm telling the people are not submitting the proof of geospatial technology. They are not using it. How the transparency will come?
Oh, no, no. Actually, if you see in PMGSY and in Gati Shakti, Gati Shakti, I think is it not open to the citizens? And all our roads of 7 lakh 50,000 kilometer road and any new road proposal, it comes on our platform which is called GeoSadak. And on GeoSadak, all these are drawn. And
Okay.
long back, we shared the GIS data in the
Okay.
open platform, having DRRP, District Rural Road Plan of 28 lakh kilometer, 10 lakh of habitations, 12 lakh of facilities. All these we shared with the public, general public. And if you want all this data, I'll share with you, no problem, because we want public to see all this data. And this is available on Gati Shakti. We shared on the open platform, and we have shared to the public also. If you want, I'll send it to you also.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sir. Because that is what I find out when I went in the field. So they don't have a proof on that where the work is going on.
No, I'll share with you. I'll share with you what all PMJSY road network is there, DRRP is there, where all the school facilities are there. This is we have
Okay.
given to the open platform, and there is a I can share with you the link, and you can connect with Dr. Ruchira and to ask me, and we'll send you officially, no problem.
Sure, sure. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
and
you
I
very
And
much.
then
think
you
you
and then you
also make
and then you
resource
make
where,
and you then you make use cases, you use it, and you advise us, you help us, and we'll take your opinion, how it is to be done, what all improvements are to be done. We are all open to it.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will come up with the points.
Yeah.
and I think this is also an area, this huge data that you have. This is also an area where we can explore some of the corporate engagements with the government, because
Yeah.
this data can be a basis of developing new projects or understanding the gaps that CSR can fill in as well.
Of course, you must take the. I'm very happy that this interaction is going to be very useful, and we shared, and now actually the information does not reach to everyone. Probably we were not very active in sharing that information. We held a national workshop while releasing this data at Delhi.
Right, right. I'll
We'll
get
share.
back to this.
Right.
Next, Dr. Vinay, please ask your question, and then some questions from the chat box, and then we will have to close it because we have crossed our time.
Okay.
Dr.
Yes.
Vinay, please.
Very good afternoon to you all. And Dr. Pradeep, sir, it was a wonderful session. I was apologies for joining you late, but whatever time I joined, I was able to comprehend what you were talking about. My biggest concern is that when you are talking about public partnership and CSR and the government, you were talking about the community or the individual citizens you are talking about. Why would I expect as a citizen to be participating in it, and how this mechanism is going to reach to me? Because as a stakeholder, the the contractor has to submit his bill after doing the work. The government has to get the work done, so they have their own cost benefit analysis. But when it comes to the citizen, why would he take the pain to inform this on this platform there is a problem in it, and why would he take the risk after the repercussion? So is his identity will be kept confidential in that matter, or how are you channelizing through that software that the citizens are ready to be engaging in this stakeholder participation?
Yeah, Dr. Vinay, I think you asked very pertinent question for me to clarify and where my all these efforts are being focused. First of all, I'll tell you for the maintenance, and for the construction also I can tell you. Now, for the maintenance part, as a citizen, myself as a citizen, I am concerned that my neighborhood does not get a good road maintenance, and I'm not sure whether how much payment is being made to the contractor, or whether the government has made any payment or not, whether my road has been repaired or not, on file what is happening, on file whether road is repairing and I'm not seeing it, or whether the maintenance funds are not available, so the agencies are not maintaining it. Okay. Now, in this emark solution which I explained, and I hope you have seen that we have a citizen section where the citizen can see by, like, you must have seen hovering of your mouse onto the road. Now, when you hover your mouse onto the road, citizen can see that whether the road was maintained, was paid, how many marks were given, and how the road condition was recorded. Now, this becomes an evidence. Now, the citizen, why he will approach, why he will do all these activities? Because as a citizen, when you are using that road, you are suffering day and night. You are suffering day and night. So you become a stakeholder. You will definitely approach the government that something bad is happening with evidences. And now we have given this on such a transparency. I don't think any other department might have given, and the power and to the citizens. And second thing, what I said, QR code. So it will be launched very shortly in another month's time, where the citizen himself can take the photographs. it will get embedded into the billing system, and the photograph condition will be assessed by the AI, because we will get thousands of the photographs, and based upon that AI the road payment will be done. And if the road is not maintained properly, then there are triggers where the contractor's security money and other thing will be get forfeited. So all these actions, when it happens, it enlightens the contractor and the engineers that they are being watched. And even if the most of the citizens, if they are not reacting, but the engineers and the contractors, they are knowing that it is being recorded as an evidence based solution. So tomorrow if something happens against that, and it has happened practically, that the contractor and engineers has become so aware that now they cannot indulge into so called corrupt practices. One. Second thing, engineers are not afraid, and the contractors are now engineers are not afraid of making right payment, because it is evidence. What was happening in the manual system, that the engineers were not making payment because they were not sure that how the road is maintained, how I should record it, because it was performance based in the manual system also. So nobody was doing actually anything. They were not making payment, contractors were not doing the work, and citizens were not knowing what is happening. So this is what I said. This is what my reply to your question is.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful listening to you, and
Thank you, Dr. Vinay. Thank you, and for observing very nice, very correctly, and making me to answer and clarify. Thank you so much. Next.
thank
Thank you so much, sir. Last question from the chat box. I'll just read it out. And I don't know the name of the person because they have joined under the name of an institute, but they're asking that vehicles exceeding the prescribed load are traveling on the rural roads. So, how should this be managed, or is there any kind
Yeah,
of special?
very pertinent question. And this is what is happening on the national highways and the rural roads, that the unauthorized vehicle, or heavy loaded vehicle, more than the load which is prescribed for a vehicle, is being plied. Now this is a very serious question of law and order actually. And what we are trying to address, we had a recent meeting, and my feedback to the government was that for the rural roads, when we are designing the rural roads, let us consider the actual overloaded vehicle load also while designing the system, while designing the crust. But then if we take overloaded vehicle for designing, the crust may becomes the design may become very uneconomical. So in the first go, what we want to do, that in certain areas we have found that there are mining activities, and the vehicle passes onto the rural roads which we have designed, and these mine may be unofficial or unauthorized or authorized, maybe. So my suggestion had been key, like for these mine areas, whether it is authorized or unauthorized, let's not go into it. Let us do the vehicle survey and axle load survey and design the rural road accordingly. But yes, this challenge is there. And since ours is a country where the law and order implementation and the citizens compliances to the rule is very low, and we face these issues day and night as a citizen, as a government official, and till the time the public become themselves little more disciplined, like in other developed countries, this always remains a challenge. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we have discussed a lot today, and I will not stretch the discussion anymore because then we will start digressing into all sort of directions. I would like to inform my participants that on these issues of how we can integrate private into this government work, the public welfare work, we will have many workshops to follow, and especially focusing on rural roads, we will have a workshop somewhere in May or June in Delhi itself, in India Habitat Center. So by that time, I hope that sir will have more consolidated points, because we'll invite you, sir, to participate with us in that brainstorming and workshop, so that some kind of policy document can be brought out from this. So on behalf of NIRDPR and on behalf of the CSR Center, we really thank you, sir, for your time and for discussing with such great detail many things I also learned today. I was not clear of many of the terms and terminology. So this is also a new area for me. So I'm also learning every day that I speak with you. And I hope that we will be able to work with you in the future to do some more in-depth work on some focused areas. Especially, I'm interested to work with you on the data that you have and to connect it with some of the sustainable development goals to see what kind of intersections can we can read from that. So with that, thank you, sir. And of course, if some of our participants wants to discuss with you further, we will provide your email address, or if they reach out to us, we will send you their queries to you. Thank you very much, sir. And to
Okay.
our participants, we will have the next lecture soon, and please keep an eye on your emails and WhatsApp groups, and also on the NIRDPR website to get notified about our next workshops. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ruchira. I am very thankful to the NIRDPR and to yourself for giving me this an opportunity to interact with such a wide walks of life professionals and experts. And thank you so much for giving me. I could explain a few of the things and some of the answers I could give, and we can remain in touch. And I'm so happy that all the participants, I can see their chatbot remarks. It's very nice, and I'm very happy that they appreciated what I tried to explain. So I hope I could do whatever justice to your expectations.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So
Thank
we
you
will
so
see
much.
you in a physical meeting next time. And thank you, sir. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruchira. Thank you, all the
Good afternoon,
participants.
everyone.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.